Do everything yourself.
Come and play. Yeah, come on, gather round a little bit. People are getting a bit thinner on the ground every time I look. Okay, so some of you were here in November when we played a game of metaphors, of describing the Feldenkrais method like various objects. Did any of you ever get the chance to use any of those metaphors? No? Yes?
When did you do that? In November?
In November, yeah. Okay. Is anyone finding it's getting harder to talk to people about what the Feldenkrais method is rather than easier?
I feel like
Good, yeah. Okay, so this is not an uncommon pattern that kind of when you come in all kind of naive and enthusiastic, you know what it is because you're talking about your own experience. And then you kind of hang out here and you watch other people saying learned things and you hear other people's perspectives and you start to realise that the method is so much more than you had experienced up until now. And when you open your mouth to talk to people, this massive stuff just doesn't fit out the hole anymore. So that's okay. It does get worse and then it gets better. So we've talked a little bit about how when we put our hands on people, we're asking questions and we're listening through the system for responses. And in order to be able to talk about the work with our voices, there are similar sort of processes that will be helpful. So I'd like you all to watch a little video, but because you're going to watch a different one, you'll have to do it inside your head. So could you just imagine for a moment that you're somewhere familiar where people kind of mill about. So it might be the train station or the supermarket or the movie theatre or some sporting venue. But can you just bring to mind the sorts of people that move around in your world and look at the way they move, look at the expressions on their faces. And if you could somehow kind of listen into their thoughts or their concerns, what is it that they want? Now you could perhaps imagine having a conversation. Maybe they would have the words readily available to express those needs, or maybe they'd struggle to put it into words. Or maybe even if they know at some level what they want, they would be hesitant about saying it out loud. And then you can kind of come back again. Do you have a sense of the sorts of answers that you would get from those people? Okay, so just hang on to that for a moment. And maybe in that thinking you might or might not have wondered, if I was to ask you that question, what would be the kind of things that you have a need for or a desire for in your life? And again, maybe you've got the words, or maybe you sort of have a sense of something but don't quite know how to find words to match that. But could you imagine that in my hand I either have what it is that you would like, or a voucher that would enable you to go and get it? What would you be willing to exchange in terms of time or energy or maybe money? What would it be worth to you to have that thing that is your heart's desire? I'll leave it there safely till later. If you really want to come and get it, you can catch up with me later. So would you just get into groups of, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, something like that, and just chat for a moment about what do you think those people in your community are needing and wanting? And if you feel so moved, maybe you could share some ideas of the things that are important to you in your life. And if there's somebody in the group that has a bit of paper, you could just jot those down and collect them. And then we'll come back and share a bit of that shortly. So what are these deep needs and wants that people have? Okay? Into a group.